My immigrant story, part number 3. Hi, everybody. My name is Kareen Mills. It rhymes with bills. You know the one, the dollar bills. Okay, we have been together talking about my immigrant story for the past 2 days. I've done part 1 the first day, part 2 yesterday, and tonight we are doing part 3. And I remember, okay, I put a marker on the last thought that I had during part 2. And the last thought was about my moving into the Pacific Northwest. And it was about me getting exposed to finally from the retail banking side into the commercial business lending side. And I started seeing multimillionaires' financials. I started getting access to crunching their numbers. I started dealing with huge apartment complex developer. I started really seeing, what does a rich person really look like? The one that I am seeing financials of like 20 millionaires, deca millionaires, more than 20 millionaires, and so much more. What do they look like? Do they look like the people that I think they are? Or do they look like someone else? So, this is the lesson I want to give you today, because most of those people, they want to be anonymous, meaning, unless they have to go to the bank and get financing or funding, that's when they show their financials because they have to. But when they operate in the regular day to day, and they're going to your grocery stores, or they're driving a very humble car, or they're living in a very humble house and they're wearing very humble clothing that they probably got at the thrift shop, that's when I started to, like, in my mind, starting to click for me. Because growing up, I was brainwashed by society that a rich person looks a certain way, and that certain way was definitely not the way that my clients, that I can tell you and validate with you, that I've looked at financials for and validate that they are multi millionaires. They don't look like that certain way how I perceived rich people are. And so as soon as I learned this, and then growing up too, or like when I was new to America, we were living with my aunt, and my aunt is a very similar profile to the people that I helped in the banking institutions to finance their construction loans, commercial lending, commercial building, all of that lending facilities for them. And what they look like is not what we think they look like. So, enter Mr. Let's call him. This was my very first huge exposure to somebody that's wealthy financially. I'm going to call him, it's a him, yes. I'm going to call him Mr. Jones. Let's just say Mr. Jones. Enter Mr. Jones. I was actually financing his new built um, construction construction loan for his multifamily unit or multifamily development. And I was looking at financing it, and I got all the financials. We approved the deal. Comes time to sign. And when he came to sign, he slaps this briefcase that's all leather. I'm sure at one point in time it looked very nice, brand new. but this thing's probably like 15, 20, 25 years old. And the threads were seriously coming off of it. And this guy that's like worth over 20 million, he is still he's still using it. When I was on the third floor of this building and I was waiting to sign him, when he rolls into the parking lot and the third floor was looking down at the parking lot, he rolls into this parking lot driving, and this was 2006. He was driving a 1989 Toyota Tercel, two doors. And then he was wearing what it looked like probably either clothes he's had for a very long time or clothes he purchased from thrift stores. And he goes up and he slams that briefcase on the signing table. And I was like, wow, Mr. Jones, the bank can probably buy you a new one. And I think I almost like offended him when I said that. And he was very charismatic in his response to me, but I could tell that he didn't kind of like that comment. And so I go, Joe, I go, Mr. Jones, you have, respectfully, you have so much money. And also, you have been a really awesome clientele to us. We could probably buy you a new one. And he was like, no, I don't need a new one. It's been 20 some years and this thing has never failed me. It doesn't matter to me what it looks like as long as it serves its purpose. And I didn't know what to do and I just smiled, right? And I'm like, got it. Got it. He did not worry about what didn't matter. He only worried so much about what mattered the most to build his wealth. And at that time, he was actually living on an 80-acre property with a house that's small on the 80-acre property. Very humble home. Amazing property outside of Portland, Oregon. And as soon as I got exposed to that, I started my own real wealth journey. That was 2006, and this is 2024. I started my own real wealth journey, and I realized that the the certain look of a rich that I used to think was not real, and a lot of them are lies, right? The real, real rich, wealthy builders, wealth building people, and wealth builders, they don't look like the way I thought they would. And so I had an immediate shift in my mind. And the shift in my mind started going very far. And now I'm a master thrift shopper. I don't care. I don't care about going viral. I just want my bank account to go viral. I love real estate. Real estate is one of those investment vehicle. Doesn't matter how you do it. Like, you find what is your niche and you find what's working for you, and what works. What doesn't work, you don't do. You learn from it. And then whatever works for you, you continue to stick to what you know. At least that's what we're doing. We're sticking to what we know. And then from then on, I just keep meeting people that I keep asking. And this was also the conversation I had with Mr. Jones. How did you get here? How did you ever get started? What did you do? Because these people that I got talked to in my profession to fund their deals, they come from nothing too. And this is another lesson I want to give you guys because you you heard my part 1 story and how sad it really gets as a new immigrant to this country, and you feel like you're never going to go anywhere as a new immigrant to this country, especially when you start comparing yourselves to others. And you see others and it seems so far away, but here's what I'm going to tell you. When I get exposed to super well off, wealth building community wealth builders, I always ask, how'd you get here? What did you do? How'd you do it? What'd you how'd you get here and how'd you do it? And then I zip my mouth and listen with my 2 ears. We have 2 ears for a reason, and then we have one mouth. We're meant to listen more than talk. And I just learned through that journey. And this is why I'm telling you, always go, what's next for me? What's next for me? What's next for me? And operate as if you're already in that next level. Because when it's time to get you to the next level, you're ready to rock. Everything is always a preparation for what's next. And so, what was next for us was, hey, most people that I funded deals for became wealthy through real estate. Through real estate. And so I set out to learn a lot more about real estate. And I swore, remember, I swore I want to become the insurance individual or insurance professional my father never had. And in the future, it looped back into that swore, declare. Actually, it's a declaration. And in the future, it looped back to that declaration. And somehow the universe made all of the things in my life happen so I could become it. God placed people in front of me so I could become it. So I declared in 2006 that I'm going to build wealth through real estate. And when you have nothing, real estate is such an amazing way to build wealth because is the only thing like the stock market, you have for 100,000 investment, you have to put 100,000 to buy the stocks, right? And by the way, I'm in stocks. I'm not against stocks. So let's clear that out. But for real estate, you can buy. My first real estate was 360,000. You can buy a $360,000 real estate with a 3.5% to 5% down payment. That's it. You know how like the stocks, if you want to buy $100,000 in stocks, you got to have the 100,000. You can't just put a 3.5% to 5% down payment on stocks and own $100,000 worth of stocks. It doesn't work that way. In real estate, you can buy $100,000 real estate. Good luck finding that here in America nowadays. Back in the days, we could. But the idea is you could buy the basic real estate where I'm at is probably like 500,000 if you're lucky. So you could buy a $500,000 real estate and put down 3.5% by living in it. I mean, that's the greatest opportunity you could have if you don't have a lot of money. And that's how my clients have done it. How'd you do it? How'd you get there? That's my 2 questions. Mr. Jones, how'd you do it? How'd you get there? And they just started from nothing. And they found their niche and they stuck with it because the more you master your niche in real estate, the better you are at it because every day that you do it is you're in practice mode. Just like lawyers and doctors, they're always in practice mode. It's called lawyer's practice and doctor's practice. A medical practice and a lawyer's practice. So, whatever you find, another lesson, the third lesson I want to leave you with is whatever you find, niche into that. So, real estate is, it's like there's so many ways to skin a cat, right? We are in the Airbnb. In the beginning of real estate, we were landlords, long term landlords. And that did not work for us. We lost a lot in the '08 market crash. This is going to be my part 4. I'm going to tell you my '08 market crash story. It's part of my immigrant story. And we started as landlords. And that did not work out for us for so many reasons, aside from just a 2008 market crash. I hated it. And when you don't like doing it and have no joy in the journey, is not going to be a joyful journey. And when it's not a joyful journey, you're gonna resent your life. That's not the way to live your life. Shift to another way to skin a cat. There's others out there that are flipping houses. There's others out there that are wholesaling. There's others out there that are doing tax deed. There's others out there doing multifamily. There's so many ways to skin the cat. Find it and stick to it, and then just expand your portfolio. Be patient though, because it takes time. And not only that it takes time, it's not perfect. There's going to be costly mistakes. And here's what I want you to think about costly mistakes, because we've had costly mistakes. Fourth lesson. The fourth lesson I want to leave you with, and I'll close with this, and I'll tell you my '08 crash story tomorrow. The fourth lesson I want to leave you with is anything you lose trying to build your wealth, don't allow it to make you give up. Use it as a stepping stone for your next move. Doesn't matter how long it takes, because that's what we did in the '08 crash. Consider it a tuition, because you are going to pay tuition anyways, whether you went to college or you gave life a shot. There will always be tuition. The difference is this is the tuition of the school of hard knocks, and college is obviously the tradition. So I hope you learned something today. I left you guys with 4 lessons through my immigrant story, part number 3. Hope you have a wonderful evening. Make sure you subscribe to my lovely YouTube channel. Share it to the world. Share this to your friends that may be a new immigrant to this country or incoming immigrant to the United States of America. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. I'll see you.